Okay, it's a very good one that you're still there. The program is still this morning on ITV, and thanks for staying tuned there. Well, we told you that we're going to be looking at the rift between Atiku Abubakar, the PDP presidential candidate, and also Nyesom Wike, the governor of Rivers State. Well, some persons say that it's already spanning into the People's Democratic Party just before the election. While some persons have also said that it doesn't have anything to do with the party. It's just more or less of a personal issue between Nyesom Wike and, of course, Atiku Abubakar. Well, you remember the presidential primaries was conducted, and, of course, Atiku Abubakar became the flag bearer, and little wonder that how come Wike did not pick the vice presidential ticket, because he scored second in position in that primary. Those are some of some ways that some persons have looked at it. And ever since then, it's been one thing or the other. We also heard when some APC governors had to pay a visit to Nyesom Wike, and most recent of it all, how Nyesom Wike has invited the Lagos State governor to come and commission some projects in Rivers State. All this is not going down well in the People's Democratic Party, because for them, they kind of, some persons are beginning to look at it that Nyesom Wike is not too satisfied with that primary election that was done. Anyway, to look at the issues this morning, the rifts building up between Nyesom Wike and the presidential candidates of PDP. We have Honorable Emmanuel Osamudiame Eyaoyewa, the immediate pastor, special advisor to Ovia Northeast Local Government Chairman. So you're welcome to this program this morning on ITV.
Good morning, listeners as well.
Okay. All right, so we're going to be letting you have a feel of the talk here this morning. So when the time comes, we're going to open up the line. The number is 070-8386-51320. 070-8386-51320. And of course, I've got my co-anchor, Daniel Praise Osadebaba. Daniel, it's still good to know you are there.
Thank you.
All right, so let's look at the rifts between Wike and Atiku Abubakar. What do you make of it all, sir?
Yes, you see, in politics, there's always addition and not minus. It's a game of numbers. So there is nobody as a party member that is not important to the party. Because if you lose a member, automatically you have lost one voter's card. Not to talk of somebody that is going with a crowd of people like Nyesom Wike. So what I see in it is that there's always issues like this whenever primaries, elections have been conducted. There's always an aftermath of this nature. It's not a new one. But for me as a person, I want to see that Atiku has not made anything wrong. This is my personal view. He has not made anything because he is the one wearing the shoes and he knows where it pinches. Even if all the governors, all PDP governors, decide to recommend Wike for Atiku as a running mate, Atiku has to sit down and see how, because we are talking of today, but he's looking forward to what it will be, especially when he wins and they are sworn in. Everybody knows the activities of Wike. You know that man is a worker. He works a lot. He stayed today. He's one of the best in Nigeria. But there are some instances that when you see him in action, you get scared. Maybe this may be one of the reasons why Atiku felt it is not possible for two of them to be in the same ship. That is on one side. Then on the other side is that when party squabbles of this nature arises, the next thing is to find solution to it. And there's always room for engagement. For me, I will want a situation where Atiku, he is the one that has a stake in this election. I want him to use whatever it takes to win Wike back. Though you've read in several national dailies about this engagement with the that is opposite parties and all the rest. For me, I'm convinced that Wike will never leave. He has one of the most consistent governors of PDP in this party. So I don't think he can leave this party.
But don't you think with the recent visit of some APC governors, mostly those in the camp of Bola Ahmed Siwaju now, those ones in his camp, talking about the Lagos State governor, we all know that he's an ally of the APC presidential flag bearer. Now, with all this invitation to Rivers State, don't you think it will send a wrong signal to Atiku's camp?
Let me let you understand one thing. You cannot be sleeping at home and expect a winning election. You definitely have to do some homework that will make you get that election and be a winner. That APC or PDP or Labour Party has met with Wike, for me, is of no significance.
But these particular ones are of the APC.
It's of no significance.
And they are close to his...
It's of no significance.
They are close to his right.
Hold on, sir. Why I say it's of no significance? Anything like this is bound to arise in politics.
Okay. Because
if Wike just decide to remain aloof at home, nobody will reckon with him. When you make noise in politics, people will know you are there. He is not making noise, but Wike is trying to exhibit his importance, his leadership in politics, and I like him for it. Okay. So that people are going to him doesn't really matter a lot. Because you can see me today, you can come and meet me today as a politician. Tomorrow I'm taking a new stand. So there's nothing to worry about.
Irrespective of the rift between him and Atiku.
I'm telling you, Wike will not want to leave because he's one of those that has spent time, he has spent energy, he has spent money to build this party. And he's the one of those that have made PDP survive today. So he cannot leave it to anybody. Let me let you understand. Just let us imagine Wike going to support Obi. How does this sound to you? Wike will leave PDP and go to Labour Party to support Obi. Right. Irrespective of the fact that they are from the same region. No?
He has not made any stand to...
excuse me, sir. I'm making an instance. I'm making an instance. It's the same thing like, what they call him, Tinubu people visiting him. He can, I see him, he's not somebody that will condescend.
Okay,
to leave this party.
Yeah, honorable.
Party, or leave his personal, leave his political career for other people to carry on. No, he cannot.
Honorable.
I see him like that.
Honorable.
He's the man I want to respect.
Yeah, honorable. You know, the local proverb that the owl, you know, cried throughout the night and in the morning the child died. Of course, you don't need to ask what happened to that child, how that child died. Now, this is the very first time in all the political time of Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, the very first time that we are seeing and we are hearing that he's entertaining governors from the opposition party. You know, I mean, prior to the primary election, we didn't find it, we did not hear about it. So when people say that, okay, he's trying to make attempts to go to the APC, somehow they may have some level of correctness in that assertion. That is on one side. What is this fear? What do you think is this fear that builds around Wike as an individual, as a PDP politician, and of course as the River of Lagos State, the governor of Rivers State? Now, you said a while ago that Wike is not somebody to toy with easily. Never. So what do you make of this fear that it looks as if, I don't know whether to say Atiku has about Wike?
It's not, I won't regard it as fear this time around. I won't regard it as fear. And like as I said before, our presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, His Excellency, cannot go sleeping now. He cannot go sleeping. That's why I said he has to put every available effort that he has to make sure he's able to romance Wike and make him remain in this party. One thing is this, my brother. In election, maybe post-election, maybe you and I contested election. And this is not primary now, I'm saying election. The moment I now win, the next thing you do is to become jealous. The first thing you say, oh, I wish I'm the one that won the election. Oh, I would have been there now. If you see the person on television say, oh, I would have been there. That jealousy will be there. So what I'm trying to figure out here is that Wike had thought that he was going to be the presidential candidate of PDP. So he now takes it as a disappointment on his part not to be so adopted. Yeah, now the issue, excuse me, the issue is that when these things like this happen, there is always room for engagement. I said that earlier. If I have my wits, let me passionately appeal to Aju the chairman of PDP, national chairman of PDP, because the Northerners cannot have the chairman of the party and at the same time have the presidential candidate. There's no equity. There's no equity, there's no fairness. So, are you, as I want to respect him so much, please, passionately, I want to appeal to you to step down.
Okay. Well, he has a tenure.
Let me finish this. Forget about tenure. Politics is give and take. It's not a personal property. Even if he has 100 years tenure, definitely one day will live there. But for his personal interest, he should share that one now. For peace to be in PDP, for us to win the election 2023. Because if these squabbles continue like this to about 2 or 3 months, you know it's short already. I think February, according to INEC. If these squabbles continue like this to the next 3, 4, 5 months, PDP will have problem in 2023 election. So let them have enough of time, enough of energy, and enough of money in this issue now to make sure that they bring Wike back at all costs. Because, as I said, it's not someone to toil with. So please, are you passionately appeal to you, step down, and if PDP will really want a situation whereby there will be peace, there will be harmony, and going to election in 2023 and to win it, I think all of them, particularly the NEC, they should sit down now, tell Aju to step down, and begin to
Honorable, have you ever also tried to examine the intention of Nyesom Wike? One of the latest remarks that he has made now is that you should step down as the chairman of the PDP. But have you tried to examine his intention? What does he intend to achieve with that?
Yes, you see, to be a chairman of a party, assuming he's the chairman, assuming Ayu now steps down and Wike now takes over the leadership of the party, eventually it is Wike that is going to produce Atiku at the election. Automatically, he now has upper hand as the chairman of the party. So it will be more responsible for Atiku and the NEC members to sit down now and ask Ayu to step down. Call Wike, please. You are not somebody we want to toy with. We like you so much. You are a dear father, a dear son, a dear brother. First thing first, we want to concede this position to you to become the national chairman of the party. Let us start from there. There's always tomorrow. If Wike did not become the PDP candidate this election that is coming, it can be PDP candidate eventually.
Okay, don't you think the fallout in the primaries is one of the major reasons why this rift looked like it's going to linger for long? Now, recently, Solomon Bob was in a satellite television program, and he said Wike never wanted to be deputy vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar. That was what Solomon Bob said. But however, I don't think the fallout or what played out or turned out in the primaries are some of the reasons why Wike is aggrieved. I don't think so.
You see, when you are contesting election, I've contested elections several times, there's always that tendency that you will win. But I always advise people, if you are standing for election, irrespective of whatever level it is, don't be too optimistic. Because you are not going to do it for yourself. That Atiku has emerged PDP presidential candidate today is not a one-man show. It's accepted as what the people want, if you want to agree with me. So, Wike couldn't have done it for himself alone. Now that the people have spoken, just like what I said about Ayu, Wike should equally, at this point in time, consider the party. The party is bigger than an individual. If you want to contest election as a presidential candidate, and now that you are not given, there's always life ahead. Come down, let people see that best that you have always portrayed in you. Let that trust be there. Let that reliability be there. It's not a good that.
So you think considering the position of the National Party's chairman to Wike now will go down well with Atiku?
Excuse me, sir.
Will it go down well with Atiku?
It will definitely, because they are all from the same zone. We have 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. You have the northeast, the northwest, the north central, the southwest, the southeast, and the south-south. So you cannot expect 2 vital positions of a party coming from the same region. It's not done.
We have that in the APC. We have that in the APC.
In all parties, it's all parties that has it. It's in the constitution. It's not a winner takes all. At least this is a situation whereby they should sit down and look at it that it is not possible for two of them to come from that if they really want to face the election and win it.
Okay.
There's no cause to start deceiving ourselves. There is every possibility that when Ayu is removed and considered to Wike, for me as an individual, I said it earlier, it might not be the wish of Wike, but we say it in politics. At all, not bad.
Okay.
So
all right. So let's
manage this for now.
All right. The program is still here. Yeah, the program is here this morning on ITV. Now 07083865132 is the number 07083865132. So you can call so that you can have your take on some of the issues that we're talking about here. Don't forget the program. We're looking at the rift between Nyesom Wike and, of course, the presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar. Now, some of the latest, statements that are alleged to have been made by Wike is that rivers will be delivered in my own way. That's one statement. And for some persons, they are not too comfortable with that because even for the Nyesom Wike, despite the fact that he's the governor of Rivers State, he has just one vote. I mean, the electorate are at liberty to vote whoever they want to vote. So for a state governor, just because there is a rift between you and the presidential candidates of your party, to want to say that you are not going to deliver your states for that party is somehow questionable. What do you have to say about that?
Still boils down to what I said. If you beat a child, the child definitely needs to cry. So whatever Wike is saying today, for me, I think he's saying it from aggression. And that aggression certainly gradually will come down one day. It cannot continue to be annoyed all along. So within this period, it is hot and everybody is seeing it as a very difficult time for him to work for PDP. I have said it and I continue to say it. Wike, although it's about 6 or 7 months to election, many things will change. Anybody today that is in PDP, before December, many of them will go to APC. Those in APC, before December will go to... So this cross-carpeting, we all think, there is nothing to worry too much about because many things can still unfold. Okay, but I have my conviction. Yeah, I have my conviction that Wike will not work for another person, except his own presidential candidate.
But it's already showing interest.
It doesn't matter. I said if you don't make noise in politics.
But don't you also think that that interest that Nyesom Wike is trying to show to a political party now, don't you think is somehow generating some reactions too, that some persons have been offended, that instead of trying to support this party, why not this other party?
It will be over. Anything that has a beginning definitely will come to an end. All this is because it has just happened. That's why the wave is spreading like a wild Hamatan fire. Sooner, all these things will be put aside. Like as I said before, no individual is bigger than a political party. He contested under PDP. He didn't contest under Nyesom Wike, or neither did he contested under Rivers State. He contested under PDP. And that PDP is the umbrella under which he will hide when the rain falls. What is the rain now? To survive politically, it is only under that umbrella that he will want to remain on. I'm equally appealing to him. Let him remain under that umbrella so that the rain will not beat him.
But some governors have tried. Some governors have tried to intervene. The apex body of the PDP, talking about the board of trustees now, they've tried to intervene. Yet no result, no meaningful result. Professor Jerry Ghana recently had to meet with them twice or so, even in his private residence in Abuja, and yet it ended in deadlock. Don't you think, with this body language of His Excellency, the Rivers State Governor, don't you think it's going to be a major threat to the PDP, owing to the fact that we are a few months away to the election? Will this not turn out to give the ruling party an upper hand?
You see, like as I said before, if you beat a child, definitely you must cry.
So this one is still crying.
Yes. Yes, so we can
still crying.
Yes, all these things you are seeing both on the telly, on the dailies and whatever. The man is venting his anger. So, and he's allowed to do it as an individual.
Okay, he's allowed to do that.
Yeah, he should be allowed to do it. Okay. He has what we call interest He's the one that has the interest to become Nigeria's president. And the people have now spoken. So he should take it like that.
So do you think he was robbed? He was robbed.
I didn't see it was for me, I watched it like there couldn't have been any possibility for it in that election. But what happened, I must mention there were incidences that took place before the election. I don't want to mention.
Tambo had to step down.
Tambowa that stepped down before Atiku could be likened to a betrayal.
Okay.
But do you also say the PDP?
It's a betrayal. When you are going to election, the people you meet and arrange with concretely within before coming to the arena, and you begin to see these people turning against you, I mean, you will definitely be hurt. You will definitely be touched. Particularly, as it has to do with the same governors of the same party. So that there was a rigging. To me, I did not see anything like that. But there was betrayal. Betrayals, not even one.
We didn't say the election was rigged.
But there's always that language.
Okay. Now, Honorable, now that we're talking about the PDP, whether somebody was betrayed or not, I don't want to use the word that Atiku Abubakar picked the governor of Delta State now, Dr. Okowa, as the vice presidential candidate. It was the party that picked him. But let's look at the PDP. Do you see the PDP as a party that deals with equity and fairness? I mean, it's only natural, it's only moral that for a candidate that came out second, naturally that candidate would have been asked or would have been allowed to be the vice presidential candidate to the person that came out first. Don't you think so? And if this was done, all these things that we are going through now, the rift we are talking about now, don't you think we would not have been talking about them?
I could remember there were some insinuations made by our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, about Atiku. So that's already a mistake. And people that doesn't learn from mistakes, they are fond of repeating it.
The people that insinuations made about Atiku, that Atiku is what?
That he went to kneel down for him to allow him for the third tenure, but Atiku refused. That man has that grudge against Atiku. But I see Baba as somebody who was greedy too. I see him as somebody that
So are you trying to say that Atiku...
So now, people now learn from what happened between Atiku. Even Atiku will want to learn too. That to be stubborn to
No, I don't understand. Well, let me try to understand what you are saying now. Are you trying to say that Atiku probably won't be comfortable having Nyesom Wike as his running mate?
I have said that earlier. I have posited that earlier here. That, we have a Bini Adi that, where Omono Bebugo, if you are dancing in a party, whatever type of party or a gathering, it is people sitting watching you. But that we know, excuse me, sir.
If you say, so that we don't forget the questions now.
People watching you that will tell you whether you are dancing well or not.
Okay, if you say that,
excuse me, sir, Wike's antecedents, everybody is aware in this nation, in Nigeria. Atiku's antecedents, political antecedents, what I'm talking about now, everybody is aware. So whatever may have happened between Atiku and Wike, like as I said earlier, it is Atiku that wears the shoes, and he knows where he pinches. Nobody should blame that man. He knows how it's going to work. If God makes him a winner, he's going to work to make sure Nigeria say, oh yes, we've got the right man now. Definitely, even you and I in this studio now, Mr. Evans, you know who Wike is.
When you say I know, I know Wike to the extent that his political relevance is something.
You see, Wike is a workaholic.
Yeah.
In fact, he's endeared in my heart. But I'm sorry to say I'm using my language. Let me leave my language now. Anything that Wike is doing in River State is watched worldwide. on television, dailies and wherever it is. But sometimes when it's in the open, addressing, you begin to see how this man talks.
Let's just say his political relevance now.
Atiku must have it in his mind now that Wike will not be too loyal to him. That is why he decided to go and pick someone, and nobody should question that. Nobody should question that.
Was it Atiku that picked Wike, or it was the party that picked? Was it Atiku that picked Okowa? It was the party, because we need honorable. Now, because the thing is, what we are trying to do here now.
Whoever is picked among the two, whether the party picked Wike, Atiku picked Okowa, it is Atiku, like as I said, I've repeated it, that has stake in this election. So he should know who to work with.
When you say Atiku, what about the party? Where is the party? The PDP? Is it the PDP or Atiku? Because let's try to situate it right.
Okay, let me
because what we're trying to do here is that I think we should start talking on how to get off this personalized political disposition. Atiku is only a candidate of the PDP. So the project for him now is not his own project. It's the party's project. That's winning the election. So when we have a situation whereby it looks as if Atiku is beginning to personalize who becomes his vice president and all that, don't you think there are issues already? That's what we're saying. Because election, just like what you said at your opening, that election is all about winning. Now, if we have somebody in the like of Nyesom Wike who has some political relevance, who has some political disposition to garner votes for the PDP, why didn't the PDP pick Nyesom Wike? Why didn't Atiku Abubakar pick Nyesom Wike? That's what we're talking about here.
You are the moderator. Otherwise, I would have asked you a question. That's if, for example, Atiku had picked Wike, and at the long run, problem arose.
Like what kind of problems?
Yeah. Who will you not blame?
What kind of problems?
The problem is this. I have posited it here again, that Atiku discovers that he cannot work comfortably with Wike. You know what is called position? You the arrowhead, this presidential candidate of PDP, is who everybody looking at. They will look at Wike, whatever wrongs, whatever anything that is not put well in the appropriate place, about one now. That is peace, security, and whatever. They will not blame Wike.
Do you think PDP wants to win this election? You think PDP wants to win this election?
Look, my brother, we are not God. As we are seated here, the person that's going to be Nigeria's president, God has placed him in Nigeria, and no Jupiter can change it. God that is looking at us, the person is already seated. It's just for us to perform our civic duty to vote the person in. Because it is only God that dictates the life of any one of us, not even man. If you contest in an election and you win, don't think it's your popularity. It's just that God has stood on your side.
Also, very big thank you to Honorable Emmanuel Iyao. You were for the main time to come on the show today. The program is still on. It's on ITV, Independent Television.